Wait until John tells you he's streaming and then still give it maybe about a few seconds.
Okay, I guess we're ready to roll. This is, believe it or not, the what is it? The June
Dude.
2020 Chicago TI user group meeting. Um, it is a week late, but under the circumstances, it's amazing that we're doing this at all. Once again, we're doing it on YouTube. Uh, the way that hopefully will reach the greatest number of people. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. I see that Vic's microphone seems to be turned off. Um, but let me run through the cast of characters here. Jim Mazurek, our technical guru, is up there in the left-hand side. John Shanafield, my son, who's getting us onto YouTube from what is it, Google Hangouts, I think that we're using today, is down in the lower right-hand corner. Vic has got the TI screen up on the upper right-hand side, and there's another picture of John on the lower left-hand side, I guess, at least on my screen, and somewhere in there I probably am as well. But at any rate, I think Vic has finally got his camera or his microphone on now. And Vic, why don't you tell us what you've got for us this month?
Well, this month we're experimenting with some new devices here. I got one of these newfangled VGA capture devices. So instead of using a webcam, it's VGA from the TI's F-18 directly into a capture device, and from that to the computer. So today's focus is, let me see here, I'm going to try to get this program. Go to RXB, and we're going to go to Editor Assembler and do a directory of disk 2. And today's theme is going to be Tunnels of Doom. A long time ago, TI came up with Tunnels of Doom, and all they ever had for it was the children's Pennies and Prizes game and the adult-oriented adventure role-playing game Quest for the King. Other people had come out with other games for Tunnels of Doom that was sold through various companies like Asgard. And on Doom Games 1, you had the Doctor Adventure where you're playing Doctor Who on Gallifrey, and you have a quest. Our friend Ken Gilliland had the Kmart Adventure, where you're in the Kmart store and your biggest weapon is your shopping cart, and you have to watch. You're trying to get a blue light special and red tag sales. The Orbs is the Dragon Orbs game. And there's a few more here. Excuse me, here I got to shift gears and go through some other stuff. Now let's see if I can actually do a presentation here.
Oh, please, God, don't.
No, not on that. Here we go.
I didn't turn
Try
off
to do
the
that presentation of a window that's share. This come up, you're looking at a PDF of the device that I bought online, a VGA frame grabber. The Windows software is nice. It sees the device immediately. Epiphan has the drivers for this for Windows, Mac, and Linux. But the Windows just works real good. And as you can see, you've got a a VGA connection on one side and a micro USB on the other. Okay, I'm going to close this. And we'll go back to stop presenting. And you should be back to the TI screen. There we go. All right. Again, this is me learning how to use some new equipment here. Well, let me look at my notes. So for Doom Games 1, we're going to go to the Tunnels of Doom, edited Mariah TODE. Looking for the original Tunnels of Doom original.
I can't hear.
There's a little latency in the system. This is running about a second behind of what my fingers are actually trying to do.
That's good.
Okay, D for directory. Okay, here's the original two files that Texas Instruments had for Tunnels of Doom, Pennies and Quest. Going to go back a step here. Reset the final ground, which is letting me run a whole bunch of cartridges. Okay, reset it. There we go. And you sharp-eyed viewers will notice we got a whole bunch of different menus set up. This past month I went through the Vittori software collection and the original F&G, the TI demo, the F18 demos, devices, education. I moved the games around. Got so many games to go into alphabetical order, I couldn't fit them all in one folder. So go to K here, games N through Z. And as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, we're on page 1 of 5. Now we're on page 2 of 5, 3 of 5, 4 of 5, 5 of 5. Go press J for Tunnels of Doom. Option number 2 is 1. Pennies. Okay. Let's go with a new dungeon. Well, we gotta go with 4 floors. I'll explain that in a moment. And just one person in the party. Easiest. And okay, this is a this is one that I already had, where I had a character named David, and his classification was a traveler. On Tunnels of Doom, your hands go over the keyboard a lot of times because you got to hit like function 8 to redo, function 6 to proceed. Welcome to the Tunnels of Doom introductory database. There are no monsters, weapons, or found. Yeah, I lost my video on this end too. Okay, let me reset the frame grabber. See, after I say about how great it works. I guess it's not a TI demo.
Yeah, that's a TI demo.
Oh, you see, I need to unplug it. It goes into the computer and it comes back. And it come back on again.
Sorry.
I'll give this another minute here to get its act together. I really liked it because of the real good clarity of the TI image. Okay, it looks like we're back again. And it has loaded the screen, at least the bottom 3/4 of it. And there's your character in there. And you're in a room, as they say in the role-playing games. And this in sign is for the marketplace where you can buy items. And the item in the left here, or I mean on the right, is the steps for descending down to the first level of the game. So our movement options, since we don't have any weapons or have to worry about anything, so you have to go with function and X to descend. Okay, now you're in your first room. Now remember, this is Pennies and Prizes, so this is very simplified. If I press M for the map button, you already got the map. Usually in Tunnels of Doom, you have to move through this labyrinth and you map out where you have been until you actually find a room that has a map for the floor. Usually you're not allowed to descend to a lower floor unless you have the map. But this is the simple one for children. So, and here again, you have to press function and 9 to get back. Character, you move one room at a time. There's the dotted line there on the left, so we want to head to the left. So I'm going to press the S key. All right, this is what you see a lot as you move through the corridors. We've moved just outside the room that we were in. And as you can see, our little red cursor there, it shows that we've moved over. So I'll go back. So now as you move forward, your little compass direction thingy at the top blinks out, and you can see the walls change when it does. And this works good unless you're in a real long corridor, and then you really can't perceive any motion except for the compass direction indicator blinking. So we turn right here, and here's a room. So now if we press E, we'll go into the room. Okay, so here we found 50 pennies in this room. And pressing M for map again, you see how we've moved over to the left from our original starting point. So we'll go back. Now if I press X, we'll go south. Now this gets confusing in the game because when you're in a room, your keys are direct compass headings. E is up, X is down, S is to the left, and D is to the right. However, now we're in a corridor. E is forward. Pressing S, we turn to the left. Here, if we turn left again, there's the room we just came out of. Turn right again. So we'll go forward one. Now we'll go into another room. Okay, and we have found 20 pennies. And a quest is completed. We found the snail. Now, at any time during this game, you can press 1 for stats on your character. And as you see here, we got 1 hit point. Well, there's no enemies here. We don't have any problems. And of course, we have no weapons, armor, shields, or protection. Now, if we press function and the X key, it goes down to any extra items we might be carrying that are usually of magical in nature. So you can press back. Now, if you press key number 2, you've got the objects to look for. So you can see we've got 70 pennies in total. No rations. Well, this game, you don't need rations. You don't run out of food and starve in this one. And the objects to find are a puppy. Number 2 is snail, which is we found. A parakeet, a fishbowl, a top, a picture, stardust, and magic glass. Interesting at the bottom there is turns left to find. In the regular game, you only have so many steps through the maze to find these items before they disintegrate. I'm going to go back. And we're actually going to quit this one right now. All right, now we're going to load another game. Gosh, I forgot what it was called. Was it called Quest for the King? I got to look back and see if it was called Quest or if it was called King. We'll load up RXB, do a disk directory. Do this one. Okay, it's called Quest. So reset the computer, reset the final GROM. Oops, a little too quick there. Got to wait for the final GROM to reset. Go to K for games. Step 3 times over till we get down to T. Press J for Tunnels of Doom. Okay, we're on disk 1. Go ahead and enter Quest. All right, now here's a regular full-fledged game. You have how many floors do you want to explore? We'll go for 10. The number in the party, we'll have 4 people in the party. We'll go for the easiest difficulty. Press number 1. Okay, player number 1 will be Hal. He'll be class number 1, a fighter. And the color we'll have this character will be 1. Press enter. Now you have to do a function 6, proceed. Okay, player 2, James. He's going to be a wizard. And we'll have him be color number 2. Do function 6, proceed. Player number 3, Vic. He's going to be a rogue and be color number 3. Oh, I get pink, huh? And player number 4 will be John. And you see, we only got 3 classes, so we'll make him a fighter too. We've looped around to the top, but he gets color number 4. Proceed. Okay, Now, this is the point of no return, because once you go here, these characters are locked in with this classification and these names. So we'll press function 6, proceed. All right. In the TI Quest for the King, up to 4 players go into a dungeon beneath a ruined castle. Your task is to rescue your king, captured by the monsters within the dungeon, before he is executed. You must also retrieve the king's orb of power. Every time I touch this thing. So now we're digging floor number 2. Now it's digging floor number 3. All right. And digging, let me get back to my screen here. Digging floor number 4, but you can't see at the top of the screen. It says Tunnels of Doom, please wait. A dungeon under construction. Digging floor number 4, the quest for the king. If you tell this to only dig one floor, this screen will flash on and flash off before you get a chance to read it. I guess I sort of exaggerated on having to dig 10 floors because this is going to take a little while. Yeah, and by stocking, it's loading all sorts of treasures, weapons, armor, and also traps and monsters. So digging is it's creating the actual maze, and stocking is it's allocating where all the tokens are. Yeah, you're not getting the top part of the screen there. It's okay. I'll read it to you. It says Tunnels of Doom, please wait. Dungeon under construction, digging floor 7. This music is written, it's got to be the most well known music in the TI world. It's written by Hank Mishkoff, who also wrote the music in the, you only hear short snippets of it at a time, in the TI demonstration cartridge. And he had been interviewed, I believe, by Charlie Gooder, one of the TI magazines, user groups, and detailed his working for TI and such. And I was lucky enough to get in communication with Hank, and he sent me a couple treats. So we'll go through that in a future episode, have a Hank Mishkoff episode. Here we are, we're digging floor number 10. All right. So now, since this is a full-fledged one, you have to outfit your characters with weapons and armor before you go anywhere, or you're not going to get very far. So it's like, what do we want to buy? Well, this sort of, we'll just run through it. We'll buy one. We'll buy weapons. Okay. Who are we going to buy it for? We'll buy it for Hal. You only have to put in the first letter of the name if everybody's name begins with a different letter. Okay, we'll buy Hal a dagger. Oops, made a mistake there. Let me go back. A dagger. Okay, it only costs us 10 gold pieces. All right, that's purchased. And buy for James. Sorry. Weapons. Keep hitting the wrong key here. Buy for James. Let's buy James a hand axe. Okay. Well, James is a wizard, so he can't use an axe. That's too big of a weapon for him. And it tells you that you got to use something else. So we'll try buying for James. Let's see if we can buy him a sword. No, he can't use that. Wizards, because they use magic, can't use heavy weapons. So he'll get a dagger also. Buy for John. We'll get him a hand axe. Okay, I bought one for him. And for Victor, I'll get a sword. Okay, notice how our amount of gold pieces is dropping down here. All right, and function 9 to go back. All right, so now we bought weapons for everybody. We'll just run through the paces here. We'll buy some rations. And that's bought for everybody as a group. I'm not going to bother with the shields and the armor and ranged weapons and such because I just want to get into the game and show you what it's like. Press enter. We'll press proceed. Okay, here's our outfitted characters. So if we press 1, here's John. Okay, this shows you he's got a hand axe with the damage of 6. His alternate weapon is just his hands. So you can buy 2 sets of weapons for everybody. And if we press down, no, it should have been up. If we press up, here's John's magical items. John's a fighter. He doesn't use magical items. Here's Hal. He's a fighter. He's got 20 hit points. He's got a dagger for a damage of 4. No armor, no shield, no protection. Has no magical items. James, he's a wizard. He's got a dagger, no armor, no shield. But see, he's already got number 1, a magical device called protection. We'll press 1. It's a scroll. It decreases the monster attack class. So it makes the monsters weaker if they attack. And Vic, he's got a sword for a damage of 8 and no magical items. So we'll go back. Okay, here we are. Notice in the lower left part of the screen is the shop. There's the shop you buy at. The lower right side of the screen is the stairways going down. So function X. All right, now we're in our first room. There are gray shaded areas to the left and to the right. Press M for map and see where we are. Okay, so the majority of this maze is to the right side of us. Go back. Let's go to the left here. All right, as you can see, we're in a long tunnel. So we can go forward 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, turn right and face north. Let's look at the map again. Okay, so there's our map. Go back. All right, here's the first door we get to. Now, you can listen at this door to determine if you hear anything. If you hear anything, there might be a monster behind it. If there is, you might reconsider actually going in that door if you've got injured members of your parties. Normally, if you just press up, only the first 2 members of your party will go in. So I'll show you how that works. I'll press the E key. Uh-oh. Okay, it's a lizard, and Hal has his dagger ready. So you can just press enter, and you didn't hit it. Okay, James, you can move to the right, and then press the key in the direction you want to strike. Okay, you got the lizard. Now we can go to the right. All right, this is the only fault with this program is when you're in a long tunnel, if it's too far to go or too far to see, it's the typical thing in an adventure game. You're in a long tunnel that recedes into the distance with no apparent end. So we'll just press the E key, go forward. Notice how the compass indicator blinks out and blinks on. Okay, here we're getting to a cross. All right, I'll turn left, and there's a fountain. These fountains are pesky. It's like, who wants to drink from this fountain? And I found most of the time with this, it's debilitating. You lose efforts. So I'll drink from it. Oh, it actually increased my hit points. And so let's look at that. The quest status. Oh, I got 20. I got 20 hit points now, where before I had 18. Yeah, if you just enter null, then nobody uses the fountain. So let's look at map again. So that's the basic Tunnels of Doom, where you open these doors to different rooms and encounter monsters. And depending on what particular type of game you've got loaded, if it's a fantasy role-playing adventure or a science fiction adventure or something like that, then you have different kinds of monsters, different opponents. You have different weapons and armor. So quit that. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, Vic, I can hear you.
Okay, Hal, I see your microphone's muted. And James, I see yours is muted. John is live. Okay. Pipe up. Any questions or something on it so far? Hal?
I can barely hear you, Vic.
All right.
That's much better.
Oh, okay. So
Much
that was
better.
the basic game, and Pennies and Prizes is very kid-friendly, and Quest for the King is a little more difficult. So we're going to go back a step here. TI Basic. I'm going to load in a different disk. Was actually a bit of a mistake because you have to put what the name of the file is on the disk. RXB. Okay, since we're using a nano PB, I put my utilities on disk number 3 because that's seldom used in the TI world. So we'll go with B for boot here. And we'll do a show it directory, disk 1. Okay, so it's this one. So Doom Games 1 is Kmart, Orbs, and QMMD. Give me a moment here to get my files. As I said, the Doom Games on Doom Games collection number 1 is Doctor, Kmart, Orbs, You have discovered the lost dungeon of dragons. It is in this dungeon that the 8 hidden orbs of dragonkind are. You must recover the orbs and return them to your king. This one's by John Benke. The Doctor Who adventure is by John Benke. QMMD is the quest for the magic maker diamonds. And let's try Kmart. That's always funny. You have to quit that. Reset the finalgram. Press number 2 for finalgram. And go to K. J for Tunnels of Doom. Okay, we're on disc 1. K hyphen M-A-R-T. Kmart. Notice that on continue current game, it just instantly drops you and it doesn't show you what it was. But I would like to actually show that. All right, to disc 1, K hyphen M. Let's do a new dungeon. We're just going to do like 3 floors on this one. Just one person in the party. And the easiest difficulty. Player none. Of hell. Now notice the whimsical names for your characters here that Ken always makes fun programs. We did demonstrations on his Disc of Dinosaurs, Disc of the Ancient Ones, things like that. But here the classification is you can be a shopper, a bargain whiz, a shoplifter, or a coupon king. So we'll go with a regular shopper here. And we'll go with color number 1. Function 6 to proceed. Point of no return. Hal is a shopper. Press function 8. No, function 6 to proceed. And your quest is to find 3 blue light special and 3 red tag sales before Kmart closes. But beware. Greedy housewives and overworked night managers lurk around every aisle. Conceived by Ken Gilliland. Digging floor number 2, stocking floor number 2, digging floor number 3. Okay, so it looks like, we can buy weapons, ranged weapons, armor, shields. Notice munchies instead of rations and healing. So let's see what Ken has for us here. For weapons, you can buy a coupon clipper, a coin purse, or a wallet. Well, we only have one player here, Hal. And let's get him a wallet. That ought to be a pretty good weapon there. And we'll go back. Let's look at ranged weapons. A ranged weapon can be a slingshot, a bow and arrow, a spear. Let's see what Ken has for us. A ranged weapon, a straw. I imagine that's a spitball. No item. That just means the shelf in that location's empty. Oh, a rubber band. What do rubber bands fling? Paper clips. Well, notice the item there. It costs you 10 gold for 20 paper clips. or you can buy a mitt or a baseball. If we go back, look for option 3 for ranged weapons. No item. Oh, you can get a paintball, a 22 caliber rifle, 22 caliber shells are 60 for 20 gold. An Uzi 40 millimeter submachine gun or a 40 millimeter shells for it. We only got $50 left, so we can't afford 160 or that big of an item. So we're going to go back. But let's go with number 2 ranged weapon for Hal. And we'll just get a straw for now. And function 9 to go back. And 4, armor. Let's see what kind of armor we can get. Bermuda shorts, a plaid shirt, or Argyle socks. The higher the cost of items, of course, the more protection they have. Sorry, Hal. We don't have that much left for the other 2 items. You get Bermuda shorts. Okay, we'll go back one more time. Shields. See what kind of shields we have. Baby powder. Okay, we could use baby powder for a shield. Buy that for our character. See, this gets really involved. And you got 3 or 4 people playing this game cooperatively. You've got a lot going on. So let's see now. 6, we're going to need some rations. It's $20 for 10 rations. We don't have enough money left. So we got to go. So let's go function 6, proceed. Now if we press 1, here's our stats on our character. Hal's status is a shopper. He's got 20 hit points. No wounds, no experience. He's at level 0. Now you see the arrow on the left for weapons. Below that is a wallet. There's no bonus to this weapon, but it does a damage of 8. And below that, you have a straw, damage of 2 with unlimited spit wad. In most of these games, you will have something like a slingshot for a ranged weapon of the cheapest sort with unlimited ammo because there's rocks all over the floor of the cavern system you're in. So there's your armor, Bermuda shorts, baby powder for protection, and your protection level is 3. So let's arrow up. We don't have any magical items. So we'll go back. Now I'll press number 2, and here's our quest status. We got $10, no munchies. So we got no rations. So this character's going to starve before he can get very far, unless we find a bunch of munchies laying somewhere. So the quest objects are, we have 45 paces till we find a blue light. Only 42 before the red tag number 1 goes away. Only 39 till the red tag number 2 goes away, and only 36 till red tag number 3 goes away. So let's go back. Down arrow on the lower right. Notice the Kmart logo is what's used as a border in all the corners. All right, now we're in the first room on the first level. So let's press M for map. And that gives you a general idea. Everything is above us and to the left and right. Function 9 to go back. And you can't see it on your screen, but there's a dotted line at the top of this room. So we'll press the E key to go upwards. All right, all we can see is the transverse tunnel. We'll turn right. And here the tunnel stretches off to the distance. And to the right, I'll turn right again. That's the door we just came out of. And here west, it stretches off. So I'll go 1 step west, 2 steps west, 3 steps west. There's a door in the distance. 4 steps, 5 steps, 6 steps. All right, now we'll enter this room. Uh-oh. It doesn't look good. A security guard. Hal has his wallet ready. Well, if you press W for weapon, you can change which weapon you use. The number one weapon, which was the wallet, where you actually have to hit it with them, or the ranged weapon, the straw. Now, if I press fire, we get a crosshairs. So now I can move the ESDX keys to move the crosshairs around, and I position the cursor on the target, press the space bar to fire. And okay, it hit the security guard, but didn't kill him. Press 3 here. Give me a moment here.
Can we just bitch slap him?
Okay, a minor interruption there. So the security guard, this one shows the stats. So he has 12 hit points, but he's got 60 experience. So the monster, he can attack you from a distance with the level 2 of damage. His resistance to being attacked is 30%. He's rather slow at 2. His mobility, he's quick on his feet. He's got a mobility of 100%. You got a 75% chance of negotiating with him. That means if you offer him money, he might leave you alone. However, if there's treasure in the room, you abandon it. You always got to fight these guys to pick up any tokens. So we'll press function 9 back. And see the dollar sign beneath the shopper? So we're going to try to hit this guy again. So press the F key, move the cursor. Uh-oh. He hit me. See, I can move. You get 2 turns. You get one where you can move your character, and the second where you can swing your weapon. So you might be out of range. If you're playing with multiple characters, you got to get your front 2 characters out of the way so your back characters can hit them. So it's good for them to have your front characters have actual physical weapons, and have your back characters have the slingshot, the bow and arrow, the spear. So I'll try firing again. Okay, I hit the security guard, and I found $30. So now we'll try moving north. Up. Oh no, it's a Boy Scout. Let's see what rating this guy's at. Oh, okay, hit the wrong button here. Number 3, you can pull up what monsters you got. He's only got 12 experience points. All right, so that gives you an idea of Ken's Kmart adventure. I think some of the other opponents you'll have shopping carts, and they have other whimsical weapons. We're going to change discs again to the Doom Games number 2. Moment. Okay, and to find out what games are on this one, I could go and do a disk directory, or I can just look at the disk jacket here and see what they are. So actually, I think I will change cartridges again. Go to RXB, we'll load our load program off of disk 3. Our utilities, I'll press B for boot. Do a directory, disk 1. Okay, the reason I went to boot is I saw at the top is a DV80 file that has is a text file called list. So we'll do V for view, list out this text file. Okay, this would look great in 80 columns. So let's go back, press W for 80 column, 2 for display a file. See how it's picked up disk 1 list. Okay, here's what it would look like if you actually printed it out. Doom Games number 2, disk catalog. Com Multi is a Computer Quest multiple player version. Com Sing, Computer Quest single player version. Gandalf, Gallifreyan Adventure. I guess this is related to the Doctor Who. Nerds, Nerds Revenge, Space Mine. Notice on this one, to load Space Mine, that's longer than they give you room to load a regular quest. So you have to use the other option. We'll load in another disk. And on my compact flash card, I got this at 1135. Okay, we'll go load B for boot again. Do a disk directory of disk 1. All right. Oh yeah, these are pretty funny. Let me get the listing on this. Oh. All right. Well, Shop Trip is actually reflects our present day environment too much because your uncle has wandered off into a bad neighborhood on a shopping trip and got lost, and you and your friends must save your uncle and his lost bags of groceries before the bad guys get him. The True King is humorous. It's the quest for the true king. Could it be true? Rock and roll sighted in a Burger King in the Kalamazoo? No, it's Elvis's evil twin brother. You and your party must stop him and the 7 fraudulent singers from reaching the hands of greedy producers. Excuse me, I have to go again. I got some business here I'm trying to run at home. Do Final Gram. And the only thing I can think of, folks, is to run a demo here. The Don't Mess with Texas demo. This is going to run for a few minutes, and I'll be back then.
Welcome to this school demonstration by Desire. Please sit back and enjoy the show.
Okay, I'm back. The third Tunnels of Doom game, yes, was Shopping Trip and the Quest for the King. There is a fourth collection from Asgard called the Volcano Fortress that has its own games. Assault the City. 8 travelers have been taken captive by the inhabitants of an underground city. You must rescue them. Good luck. Again by John Benke. Compute. The Computer Nightmare. The computers have taken over the world. Your job is to travel into their base and unplug the 4 terminal output lines that connect them to the outside world. Good luck. This game was made with the Tunnels of Doom Adventure Editor and is intended to be a sample game. Dark Tower is on here. The Dark Tower was destroyed many years ago, but rumor has it that great treasures were hidden in the dungeon below. Make your fortune. Good luck. Again, this was made by John Benke with his Tunnels of Doom editor. And the Volcano Fortress. The mighty Volcano Fortress holds 4 magic chests. But I want to move on here, so we'll get something else in. Just bear with me a moment, and I'll load in another disc. All right, there we go. I have to get a different cartridge in here. So reset the final gram. And we'll load RXB again. And we'll tell it to load off of disk 1. Right, so what this is the Tunnels of Doom Adventure Editor. I'm sorry, guys. Don't I have a image here?
I don't see an image yet.
Oh. How long has that been going on? There we go. This is the Tunnels of Doom Adventure Editor by John Banke. It gives you an option here to change the screen display. So you can change the foreground color or the background color to whatever you like to have. Right now it looks okay. I'll press enter. Now you can run program A or B. Program A and B have different options. The only problem with this editor, I pressed A, is it is set up for disk drive 1 as default. So you have to take the editor disk out of disk drive 1 and put in the disk that you want to edit your Tunnels of Doom adventure. So let me get my Tunnels of Doom editor booklet out here. In the instructions, this program will allow you, the user, to create your own games for the Tunnels of Doom cartridge. So now you can see how these people did this, how they can modify the characters, the weapons, or even the maps, or modify existing ones to your personal preferences. The program is for those adventure enthusiasts that like the challenge of an interactive graphics adventure and are interested in constructing their own games. CTIUG editor requires little or no knowledge of programming or computers in general, but some basic knowledge of the operation of the TI. Additionally, users should be familiar with the general operation of menu-driven software. For more information on both these subjects, see the manuals accompanying the machine. So the editor tells you the first thing you should put on this is normal. Various graphics that it can load for different characters, monsters, special effects, and weapons. There we go. Now we're at TOD editor version 2.5. This version 2.5 has corrected some of the mistakes that were in version 2.0. And hopefully they've all been corrected. Let's go down to like number 5, 6, 7. Print statistics. This will show you the statistics of the opponents you're fighting. So press, no. Okay, just the E or the X key, no function, and you don't press the number. Okay, so we'll print the statistics. I arrowed down to 7, press enter. Default is PIO. You can use RS-232 or screen. Now, the only problem when you go to screen is you can't see the statistics. Okay, and it's showing us garbage for a very good reason. Because, the Tunnels of Doom game that's on this disc is not the first thing that was put on the disc. This program expects a Tunnels of Doom file of 52 sectors is the first thing that's loaded on the disk. And it goes sector by sector because John expects this sector has these things, another sector has other things. So this isn't really going to work. So what I'll do is I'll break the program. And I'll try loading in a disk that I know has a Tunnels of Doom file. Oh, I did a run. Maybe I should have done a continue. Because if it looks for something off its data disk in a run, it might crash. I've never done this before. This is the only disadvantage because it expects you to pull the physical disk out. And put in your working disk. Okay. We'll tell it to run line 282. I tried editing these programs, and they are heavily protected. And so I thought, oh, I'll just edit it to make everything where I can run it from disk 2 or I can run it from disk 1 and then have it edit the program in either drive 2 or drive 1. So let's see if this works. Yeah. Also, this Tunnels of Doom editor is a bit of a misnomer. It's better off that I found as a Tunnels of Doom creator, because except for the monster statistics, you can't really see what anything is on that game file. Yeah, I don't think she's going to run here. Darn it. Yeah, so the monsters, you can see their names, but you can't see the statistics because it expects like an 80-column screen or an 80-column printer. So that stuff is way off to the right side. No, shame I can't run it with the Nano PB. It's a nice program. No, don't look like it's going to run for us. Oh well, I tried, John. So we'll load in another disk here. Do a disk directory on disk 1. Okay. After all these other programs, game files were released, Michael Vesprakis wrote Halls of Lost Mariah. And I see it's on this disk. I'll explain what that is. Let me get the right cartridge in. Here, go load from disk 1. Okay, one moment, and I'll be right back. Okay, trying to help out a neighbor. On Halls of Lost Mariah, Michael's done quite a fantastic job here in designing a dungeon system where all the tunnels and dungeons and the caverns and rooms are laid out in the east to west pattern, just like in the Lord of the Rings stories, where you're going through the cavern system under Mariah from one side of Under the Mountain to the other. So you always press like 3 to continue the current game. If you get this disc, don't use this disc. Copy it and put the original in a safe place, because as you play the game, you'll modify it. Okay, that was perhaps a bit of a mistake because we didn't get the title screen. All right, let's do disc 1. Mariah. Let's press 2, restock an old dungeon. All right, now notice here at the top, remember in the fellowship is 4. So you can have 4 players here, and you have difficulty levels. Now, he already has characters that are based on Lord of the Rings. You have Elendil, who's a ranger, Nori Axhelm, who's a dwarf, Gandalf Istar, a wizard, and Merry Quickhand, a hobbit. But let's proceed here. You are commissioned by Thorin III in Stonehelm, Lord under the mountain, to find the lost map of Mariah. You start in Dimrill Dale at a pricey black market. Beware of the Balrog. Okay, again, this game, you start out empty-handed. So you have to buy all your weapons, your ranged weapons, your armor, your shields. Crams is a Lord of the Rings terminology for a very long-lasting prepared food that's very nourishing and never spoils. Then they have healing ale, which is like first aid. But we're just going to jump right into this and proceed. Okay, so now if I select option 1, now you notice the weapons shop in the lower left of the screen, Mariah, is a different graphic. The stairway going down to the right is a different graphic. The walls of this room are like diamond pattern, and there's different graphics around the perimeter. Michael's one of the few people who sector edited with Disc U Texas Instruments Quest for the Kings, and he learned what every bit in the data file did, and he edited and he created this game. Normally you can't create a pre-laid out maze of tunnels. I'll show you what these tunnels are like in a few minutes here. But there's a weapons shop. If we press 1, here we go. Merry Quickhand is a hobbit. He has 18 hit points. We haven't bought any weapons for anybody, so they only got their hands for the primary and secondary weapons. But check out there near the bottom, Mithril Mail. That's the fictional indestructible armor that once it's made cannot be deformed. Gives him a protection of 30. That's incredible. He has a magical item called Mirovor. Let's look at data on that. And it's a healing pot. Mirovor decreases adventurer damage. So if he gets hurt or if another adventurer gets hurt, he can use this magical item on either himself or somebody else. We'll go back. Let's look at the next character. Elendil. He's a ranger. He has hit points of 20. He comes with a short sword. So there's a bit of a rigmarole. This guy already has a weapon. Nobody else does. You see at the bottom, he's got a half shield. Magical items, Athelas herb. Let's look at that. Item number 1. Again, it's a healing pot. Athelas herb decreases all adventurer damage. Let's look at our next character. Is Nori Axelm, a dwarf. Hit points of 20. He's got a hand axe for a damage of 6. No armor, no shield. Yeah, so we could have bought stuff for these guys and really equipped them good. Honing elixir decreases adventure weapon bonus. And Gandalf Istar is a wizard. Okay, now as you know, wizards can use magic, but they can't use heavy weapons, armor, or shields. Where again, a fighter can use heavy weapons, armors, and shields, but he can't use magic. So see, our wizard here has a wizard staff for a damage of 25. That's pretty good. But look at this note. He only gets to use it 1 time per battle. And he has 2 magical items, a starry fire and a starry might. So the fire decreases Morgul host hit points. And the starry might decreases all Morgul host hit points. Okay, so we're done with this, poking around. Let's go down into the maze. Okay, and for some reason, my video went out for an unknown reason. Let me try unplugging it and plugging it back in. Gee, it sounds like a line from the IT group.
Did you turn it on and off? Or off and on?
Yeah. Actually, I unplugged the USB cable where this thing gets its power from the computer and plugged it back in again. Okay, so here's our 4 adventurers. They've gotten down to the first level. Let's press M for map. And okay, we're on the far right. And everything else is to the top, bottom, and left of us. Okay, now I got to do a function 9 back. And as you can see, there's a dotted line to the left. So let's move to the left. Okay. Now notice how pretty this is. The doors got a real nice decoration. Real nice pattern to them. I'll turn left. And the only problem is once again, once you get into a long tunnel, the only notification you get that you're moving is that very hard to see compass indicator at the top of the screen. And in this tunnel, the top of the screen is dark blue and that indicator's black. So it's sort of hard to see that blink. But let's move up a bit. Okay. Now, if your characters enter this room, you have a minor problem. The first 2 guys get in and the other 2 guys are in the hallway. So until your first 2 guys get out of the way, the guys in back can't do anything. If I press the E key to just enter the room, but if I press the B for Bob key, it means burst into the room where all 4 of you go running pell-mell into that room. If there's a monster in there, you might wish you hadn't done it, especially if your characters are injured or weak. But having more guts and sense, I think I'll burst in. Okay. Who will open the locked chest? There is no monster here. Now, these locked chests have a very simple 3-digit combination, but I'll have Mary open it. M for Mary. Okay. Potion, give it to Mary. Okay. That was... now, these locked chests occasionally have curses or booby traps on them. So you want a character like a rogue or a hobbit to open them because they are usually skillful enough. Baggins is thieves. They're usually skillful enough to avoid any kind of traps, poison, or curse that's on it. A scroll. I'll give that to Gandalf because that sounds like a magical device. Okay. Now the movement option is to our left. So I'll press the S key and we'll all move left. Now we're looking forward. Here's another room. Again, this is beautiful where he had the brickwork and such. If he was only able to do something like the new Raycaster demos you've probably all seen, to give a illusion of movement through these tunnels that are so long you can't see the far end. I'm going to B for burst through this room. Uh-oh. 2 wolves. Let's press number 3 and see what a wolf stats out as. Okay, a wolf, maximum hit points of 12, got a lot of experience, 60. Morgul host, attack of 2, maximum damage 2, defense of 2. So, do 2 points of damage every time it hits you. 0% magical resistance? No, it's got a speed of 2. It's not that fast, but look at that mobility, 100%. Negotiation? This is a wild animal. You can't bribe it. Special attack? No, there's no magic there on special attack. So let's see now. Elendil is the green character. So if I move him forward 1 square, I have 1 more move. I can hit the wolf. Okay, Nori's the red character. He's got a hand axe at the ready. I'll try moving him with the S key to the left. He missed. Gandalf has his wizard staff. This is a ranged weapon. Again, we'll move the, I don't know if you can see it there. It's a little white arrow. You can move it. I got it on the target I want to try to hit. Press the space bar. I hit the wolf. Mary, he's using his hands. He can't really do anything, but I'll use his move to try to get him from around the dwarf. So again, you only got 1 turn to move, 1 to strike. He's out of range, so his trying to strike isn't going to work. Press E for Elendil. Nori, S to the left. Gandalf is reverted to a second weapon. I'll have to try to move him into position. And can't really hit him. So Elendil. Okay, so we got them. Let's go to M for map again. All right, there's the map. And if we played this game long enough, you see at the bottom of the screen on the right, there's a symbol for a fountain at the dead end there. Just to the right of the room we're in is a symbol also. I don't know what that means. To the far right is the symbol for an ascending staircase. We'll go back. We'll leave this room. Oh, here's another room. Okay, I just pressed E to enter. Now notice how 2 of the characters walked in the door and the other 2 guys are left outside. So I have to move Elendil down, press the X. He's out of range to hit him. It's a wasted turn. Nori, I'll move him forward 1 square. Gandalf, I can move him forward 1 square. Press F to fire. I know this white arrow is probably just about invisible. Press the space bar. And let's look at what a swarthy one is. Maximum hit points of 12. They're about like the wolf. Less experienced than the wolf. Their attack, and they can attack and cause 2 damage points. Their defense is only 2 also. Their speed is 2. Their mobility, the wolves are 100%. These guys are only 50%. Oh, 25% chance of negotiation. All right. Negotiation, I pressed N for negotiate. Negotiation failed. They will not negotiate. They want to fight. Yeah. Move Nori. Hit them. Gandalf, I can get him in position. Merry, I can get him in there. Okay. Elendil. Nori missed. Try to get Gandalf in there, and Merry, get him in there. So Elendil. Nori. Gandalf, I can move him one. At least I can have him hit south. Merry, I can move him north. Oh, he hit him. So again, now you notice how Nori there, the second character on the right, he's got 20 hit points. He's got 4 points of damage. When your damage equals your hit points, your character dies and he disappears from the screen. And you've got to use like a healing potion or a resurrection potion or something like that. So we'll have Nori hit upwards. Gandalf is sort of out of range. And Merry is right there. Okay. The swarthy one hit Merry. Notice he's the guy at the bottom in the pink. He's got 2 points of damage now. So Endel can't really do anything. Okay, we defeated the swarthy ones. End of the battle. Who will open the locked chest? We'll have Merry open it. Ah, we found 20 Khazad gold coins. And a healing pot. Give that to Elendil. All right, and map again. So, Michael Vesbrakis has done an excellent job here on this. We're actually going to quit this game here, and I'll get you to another one that he's working on. Whoops. Change cartridges again. We'll load boot. Okay. Had to find out what the name was on that disk. Actually, we got to do a little disk access here. The stuff doesn't seem to be where I wanted it. So we're going to go with C for Compact Flash Manager, 2 for Volume Utilities, 6 for List. So on this Compact Flash card, I have the Chicago TI User Group library. Is the first like 200 virtual disks here. So it's Chicago 207, Chicago 225. Okay. So now we're to the original discs that came with the machine. So you can see it takes you a little while to get up to disk 1000. I spent a couple years filling up this card. I think it has 2 gig compact flash card, and you have like 1,400 floppy disks on it. Okay, TC, we're in the Tiger Cub collection here. Yeah, there are some Tunnels of Doom games in the Chicago User Group floppy disk collection and also in the Tiger Cub collection. But there's nothing unique. They're in the Asgard Doom Games 1, 2, 3, or the Volcano Fortress collection. I'm doing this because that was not the program I expected to find. Oh, here we go. Tunnels of Doom. Okay, so then we run out. Okay, so here we are, 1132. Mariah, 1133. Doom Games 1. 34 is Doom Games 2. Doom Games 3. Mariah, 38 is a Tiger Cub disc. 1140 is another Tiger Cub disc. Tunnels of Doom. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to just try to run sub 1. Again, we'll go to the K for games N to Z and press the period key 4 times to get to T for Tunnels of Doom. And we don't need to have the whole thing run. This is another one by Michael. Continued current game. Start on floor number 7. And this has a very intriguing concept. It's all science fiction, no magic. You are a soldier and you're trying to get to the 12th sub-basement of this bunker to rescue the person who's there, senator or congressman. Let me see one here. Okay, Sam, status, researcher. Has a hit points of 15, has a taser. Yeah. So this is a work in progress. And Michael Vesperkus did Halls of Lost Mariah in 1994. He did it for his children who were just getting into playing like Dungeons and Dragons on a PC. And they said, Dad, we like Tunnels of Doom, but we'd like to have something a little more exciting than the Texas Instruments Quest for the King. So he wrote Halls of Lost Mariah for them. A hiatus of about 22 years with this one, sub 12. So let's go left. Yeah, look at this. You're on the 7th level, sub level of this basement. Let's look for our quest items here. We're looking for the nuke reset card, the VIP identification card. The researchers are gone. Chimp Clyde is gone. The laptop is gone, and the vaccine is gone. Right when you start with this game. So again, another intriguing game that is really spruced up the graphics. At least the ceiling's yellow, so we can see the compass indicator moving. And in theme with the underground bunker, this looks like an armored door with a monster. Okay, Brett seems to have a firearm, and Sam has a taser. Okay, the theme is these viral apes are pretty dangerous. Again, this was all done by somebody who sector edited with Discu an original Tunnels of Doom game and learned what every single byte did. Ah, stairway going down. Okay, do a map, and that's where we're at. All right, let's see how we're doing on time here. Well, we got some little time left. I would like to do a presentation here. Okay. Bear with me. Okay, so can you see that? The Tunnels of Doom screen. I'm sort of new at this, so yes, this is the basic Tunnels of Doom screen. Load up there. Let me try that again. I want to present a window, and this is the window. All right, so do I have a window of the Tunnels of Doom place? No, it's showing. No, it doesn't seem to be doing it. Shucks. And a whole bunch of pictures here. I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying to share a picture of the Doom Games collection in the Volcano Fortress, what the original pamphlets look like. But all I see is the TI screen. Able to get a Tunnels of Doom pamphlets show on the screen?
Yeah, you got a bunch of screenshots. 103.
Because I took photos here rather than using a webcam. I took photos of all this stuff, and I'm trying to present. Present the photographs.
John, I don't think
So
your
this
audio is
isn't
coming
working
through
out
real well.
Yeah, I thought with that PDF presentation I was able to do that I'd be able to get some of these other things done. Okay, John. Yeah, I got these photos showing up, and I'm trying to do a presentation using that.
John, your audio is coming in very sporadically. It's just a few little blips and
Yeah.
beeps. So use the chat mode if you need to send us a message.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's awkward. I need like 4 hands here to manipulate. Unplug the VGA gadget and see if I can just go over to a webcam. I'm great. All right. It looks like I had. Oh, the pictures did display. Did the pictures display? Huh. Okay. I can get back to the VGA capture device then, if that's the case. Oh boy.
Yeah, other than your mic being a little low, which I think John is compensating for in stream, yeah, your presentation was going okay.
Oh, okay. Because the U part, I could not monitor that. Okay, I'll cancel this webcam because I had taken a whole bunch of photos.
It sounds as if that sometimes you turn towards the microphone and it gets nice and loud, and then you turn away and it gets very soft again. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I only got the 2 hands here. If I had a microphone stand, it'd be a lot easier to do. Let me see if I can get the. Actually, I don't need the frame grabber if I'm doing a. Okay. Okay, let me try another presentation. I'm going to go to a different photo. Does it all red Halls of Lost Mariah? Or, okay, I got to click on that. That image. Share. Okay, we should have the red pamphlet. Halls of Lost Mariah, A New Tunnels of Doom Adventure. And the inside of the Halls of Lost Mariah. Wait, how are we getting a TI logo up there? Okay. Yeah, I'm looking here at what it says U, and I see some modulation, and I still keep seeing a TI logo. Now it's a blank screen. All right, I'll go back to present now. A window. Okay. This thing on the Halls of Lost Mariah really has his Lord of the Rings down. This is the inside of the manual for it. And here's the. This was distributed by RAM Charged Computers, not by Asgard. So here in the lower left corner, he has his. So 2 weeks ago, I literally mailed him a letter explaining what we were doing here, and I wanted to present his program, and could he give me any feedback on what he went through in writing it, because I couldn't figure out how he did the tunnels and how he did everything else. And he said that he had edited the Tunnels of Doom game and for his kids. And he's got different graphics, weapons, shields, armor, monsters, things like that. This is all his original manual. It was distributed through RAM Charged. And on different levels, you have the black market. Well, up on the surface, you've got the cheapest market you'll find. Down lower, when you're desperately in need of heavier weapons, better shields, armor, more food, or you need like arrows to replace the ones that you fired, these black markets get more expensive. And he has a glossary of what all the Lord of the Rings is. That runs a couple and gives you a happy adventuring at the end of the book. And shortcuts on the back cover. So let's go up one shot. This was the Tunnels of Doom editor by John Banke. Instructions. Here's that menu we saw earlier. We went number 7 to enter to try to list out the monsters. Every number command listed out here. And the difference between the Part A editing program and the Part B. Part B, as you can see in the lower right corner here, has graphics editor. So in this one, you've got a little pixie or something. Change their stance if they're standing there or when they attack you. So Doom, you do have some limited animation of your different opponents. They make minor motions when they attack. Okay. All right, and yeah, here's your basic one. Now you notice you only got 3 characters here: fighter, wizard, and rogue. Where in Mariah, he edited the program to where you have 4 characters, so he could include a hobbit. Thing is, Tunnels of Doom, the cartridge, the framework, the engine, operates the program. The data file is saved on disk or cassette, and it fleshes it out. Do you want a science fiction adventure? A role-playing game adventure? Yeah, so this is the basic Tunnels of Doom quest for the king. There's a fourth character available that rolls up in Tunnels of Doom. All three attributes of a fighter, a wizard, and a rogue character called a hero. This character with this guy have heavy weapons, armor, shields, and you can use magical items, and you have the finesse of a rogue, a locksmith, if you get to locked chambers or chests. Tunnels of Doom, the quest for the king. This screen shows you what the basic quest for the king looks like. Or store here on the left, right, and simple shading in the corners with the simple block walls. And here you are on the first floor. You've descended one level. And your view. Here's your stats on a hero. 24 hit points. Got some wounds at this point when I got this, because I didn't bother buying this guy any weapons or armor or shields. And of course, he's got one magical item, a lightning rod. Quest status. We got 24 turns to find the king and 28 to find the rainbow orb. Here is during a battle, I encountered a creature called a kobold. Maximum hit points of 6. Remember, we're on floor number 1. Opponents you get are capable, but they shouldn't be that tough. Believe me, they get tougher as you go down each level in Tunnels to Doom. And this must be Pennies and Prizes. I recognize that. Yeah, I played it with a friend of mine, David. And yeah, the Pennies and Prizes introductory screen. And Pennies and Prizes, there is no store. Straight down, so you don't have to buy anything. And you'll always get a floor map in Pennies and Prizes.
Do you have the right screen on the display right now?
Yep. Patience.
Because we see a file manager right now. There we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know, it gets confusing when you have multiple sources.
Okay, I got... Okay, Tunnels of Doom screenshots. I'm clicking on them, and they're coming up with, like, the picture viewer.
Yeah, I think that's because they have a different window context, so you're only seeing the file manager, not the viewer. You might have to go to like sharing your desktop rather than sharing just the file manager window.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing. Let me close this. Click on me. Present now. Present a window. Okay, I'll present the entire screen. Okay. Okay, I've got some nice recursion now. Let me go to the file manager. Up a step.
Yeah, right now we just have a blue screen, so you might be on the...
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. This is the regular Tunnels of Doom.
We just have a blue screen, Vic.
Pardon? So you should be seeing it go from picture to picture.
No, we just see it. I'm only seeing a blue screen right now. So you may have changed input sources.
Okay.
Yeah, John was saying you're not in presentation mode anymore.
Oh. Dang. Let me try to get back. I'll get the hang of this yet. Share your entire screen. Share. Yeah, it's grayed out. This tab is using your camera or microphone with the pesky camera. Okay, so I unplugged the capture device.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
I unplugged the capture device. So here's my entire screen. So are you seeing a photograph? It says floor 1.
Not yet.
Okay, you're seeing a Windows desktop.
No, still just a blue screen for me.
For me as well.
Okay, I'll cancel the presentation. We'll go to a I'll keep the webcam back then. Okay, let's play logo. Here's the pamphlet. Boy, this is awful. You know how much a music shop wants for a microphone stand? You know, they are crazy.
I can see that, but I can't hear you at all.
Right. Here's the webcam. And here's the Doom Games 1 from Asgard Software. Here is the Tunnels of Doom editor from by John Benke. I believe that's from Asgard also. Here's one of my usual binders that I use for storing all this stuff in. I have had these games for ages, and I barely touched them, I'm sorry to say. And I was a big Tunnels of Doom fan. Doom Games 2. Doom Games 3. And here's another collection by John Benke called the Volcano Fortress. It has 4 games. Let me see if I can find the manual for Mariah.
Vic, are you using a handheld mic?
Yeah, I am. Like I said, I don't have a microphone stand or a lavalier mic or something like that. So
okay, try holding it under your chin when you talk.
Yeah.
When you hold it under your chin, it works much better.
Yeah, I'm just not saying anything right now. I'm getting my next item. All right, now let's make a presentation. Okay, here's the Halls of Lost Mariah. Let me try to sharpen up this focus here. I guess that's as good as it gets. Here's a Halls of Lost Mariah pamphlet, A New Tunnels of Doom Adventure. Here's the inside cover. I'll try to avoid shaking it. Now you see why I took photographs. These darn webcams, they don't show up for squat. He's not at this focus. And this generally gives you the idea. This gives you the idea on the inside front cover of what the cavern system is laid out like. It's primarily east to west, and there's some free floating stuff in there. You have to press C to check for hidden doorways and hidden rooms. And he's nice enough to give you a stats sheet that you can fill out with all your characters. So if you edit it, what their names are, their classification, their hit points, what weapons you've assigned to them. And he graciously puts here at the bottom of the page, permission given to freely duplicate this form. So I know some people are probably going like, Tunnels of Doom, oh gosh, that's almost as bad as Hunt the Wampus that you did a couple years ago. And I showed you how much detail there was in Hunt the Wampus. Oh, hello. So yeah, I got the microphone here, and I'll probably go back to the video frame grabber. And let the thing find itself again. There we go. Ah, there. So, yeah, so Tunnels of Doom is a fun adventure game that is semi-graphical. Yeah, let me see if I can our home page now. Okay, presentation is off. Camera's on. Sound is on. We'll close this down. I'll find you guys again. Okay, Hal. James, John. Okay. All right. So that was pretty much the major presentation today of Tunnels of Doom, was that there are quite a few adventures that are written for this. And if you go, well, I've played Quest for the King, and even though it's a new game, every time I hit a new game, I'm tired of it. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff. I can't currently say where the Doom games 1, 2, 3 in the Volcano Fortress collection are at, or where you can get Halls of Lost Mariah. I've been in email contact with Michael Vesprokis, and he, after, like I said, after a 22-year hiatus, he is working on sub-level 12. Where he was quite proud of that, where he said the regular Tunnels of Doom, you can only get 10 levels. And he's working on trying to get 12 levels in there. And there's no magic. It's not science fiction. It's all action adventure. Let me get my notes. In the July 1995 issue of Micropendium, Halls of Lost Mariah was reviewed by Charlie Good. And in it, he says, this is the Tunnels of Doom game requiring the TOD module. Mr. Proskus wrote it for his children. I know you're thinking, ho-hum, another TOD game. That is what I thought too when I first asked to review Hall. But this game is really different and enjoyable. My 14-year-old son Colin took Halls for a test drive and really liked it. He has experimented with other TOD games in our user group library and claims Hall is the best of the lot. One thing different about Halls is that it is winnable. There is an endpoint, and with a little persistence, you will get there. Colin did it in one long afternoon of play. It took me a little longer. I am an adventure game klutz, and here publicly confess that I have not, without aid from cheat books, solved any of the Scott Adams or Infocom adventures. It is really good for my ego to know that I can actually solve hauls. In addition to the game file, there is a little TI basic program that lets you know your score based on how many treasures you collect, how many floors you go down, etc. TI Basic lets you run this program without removing the TOD module. The second thing different about Halls is its documentation. It is massive and professionally produced. It is not your usual on-disk short doc file or pile of poorly copied typewritten sheets. You get an 18-page book with lots of nice black and white graphics giving you the whole story of Mariah, a description of the 10 underground levels, a summary of stats and abilities of the various types of people in your party, and an extensive glossary of names and nouns you are likely to encounter in the game. You also get some stat sheets to help keep track of things. You write on the stat sheets for each adventure a name, class, hit points, wounds, level, weapons with their damage, and available ammo or shield protection, and magical items. This is a lot of stuff to remember. Of course, you can have the game display this info, but this is a bit cumbersome. It is really handy to have all these data neatly organized on a single sheet of paper. If you want to start your adventure right away, there is a predefined game with predefined adventures at a predetermined location described in the user guide. A quick stat sheet is included with the game that lists these predefined adventures along with their names, hit points, and class. You just select Continue Current Game from the TOD module menu and you load the game. I really like this because I am too lazy to construct new dungeons or restock old ones when starting a new type of TOD game. The predefined game is the one I finished. You can, of course, make new dungeons and replay halls once you solve the predefined games. Halls of Lost Mariah comes on a single-sided, single-density disc. It is commercial and available from Ramcharge Computing for $5. Included, of course, is all the fancy documentation. And the following is Ramcharge's phone number, Charlie Goods credit, his post office box, his voice phone number, his internet. So that was pretty much a correct quote out of the April 94 Michael Pendy. And if I can, I'm going to try to, oh, we lost it again. Oh, there, we're back on again. I'd like to try another presentation here. Let me go through my stuff. Bear with me. You haven't lost me. It's just loading up a big PDF file. And let's see now. How do I present? Present now. Higher screen. Picture. Should be seeing a PDF image, color image of the original TI Tunnels of Doom. And yeah, you really need one of these. You can't really just.
No PDF image yet, Vic.
Okay. Well, I clicked on share. Go to, let me minimize. And yeah, you should be seeing a image of the Blue Tunnels of Doom booklet eventually, sometime. Is it there yet? There. I'll just unplug the camera. It's the only thing it's got to look at is the PDF. All right, and
Nothing yet.
nothing yet. Okay, well it's webcam time. Put the webcam back in. Get back on the site. Let me cancel presentation. The image of my dog looking over the top of the van.
This is like the weather for a dog in the background.
Yeah, those are funny. Okay. Yeah. Good thing I put my pants on this morning. I actually had to print out the Tunnels of Doom manual because apparently I don't have one anymore. I thought I did.
Microphones.
So I'm a fortunate owner of the Psych, which is sold only with PC99. Some people complain about that they don't need another emulator, or they want an emulator, they don't want the Psych. It's Michael Wright's decision. He only sells the two of them together. So that's where I actually found which issue of Micropendium had a review of the Halls of Lost Mariah. And I put that one away. So there's the cover. And the Psych, I have to say, I highly recommend it. Here, let me put this back down here. I highly recommend the Psych because it has just about every bit of printed material for the TI that was ever done on a CD. And of course, you could do a CD search for any particular item you might want. So, Tunnels of Doom, it has the key presses, TI-99 4A. Tunnels of Doom it's sort of jarring where if you're doing the top-down view of the room, in that direction. Where if you're in a hallway, and of course E is always forward, S and D turns you left and right, next turns you around. Well, for me, with my eyes currently, the way to go is to print out something in a large format, and it's a lot easier than trying to read it. My friend has done a good job on saving all the TI manuals and everything. Yeah, I think we know how to plug in a cartridge by now. It's quite detailed in characters, monsters, role-playing fantasy adventure game stuff, your stats, hit points, your damage, things like this. It's nice because it's the Dungeon Master. It rolls the dice for you. And what we're going through now is the Tunnels of Doom manual that I printed out and put in a loose-leaf binder Yeah, I know you probably can't read this. That's why I took scans and photographs and everything that I can't seem to actually present. So it's quite a complicated game, actually. You see why Pennies and Prizes, they don't give you weapons, they don't give you armor, they don't give you monsters. It's just something that the kids can go through and find the fishbowl, the puppy, the snail, the parakeet, stuff like that. And here we are getting to the end of the manual. Yeah, credits. And the alternate manual in advertising. when TI went from the block type annual covers to the fantasy ones. So that's about it for me today. Anybody have any questions in particular? So you're all muted, guys. Hal, did we have any chat today? Were you able to monitor anybody logging on?
Nick, I've been having trouble hearing you for most of the presentation. At times it gets normal volume, and then other times it is so faint that I can barely hear you. I don't know if anyone else is having that problem, but I think that's a very directional mic. I think if you hold it under your chin, perhaps it may be. It may pick it up better, but if you're holding it at any distance from your mouth, it's extremely difficult to hear. I don't know if that's going out on YouTube that way, but here in the Hangouts, it's very difficult to hear. You might want to check that when if you do of the show, and it's not a criticism, it's just a notice that, you might not be aware of that.
Okay, I was just wondering if anybody else logged in on the. I was wondering if anybody else logged in on YouTube chat and had any questions, or if you or James or John have any questions on Tunnels of Doom, Lost Mariah.
Yeah, I've noticed that microphone only picks up on the top when it's point lips. So if you were to hold it, say, under your chin down here, that would probably work the very best. Not on your chin, but under your chin. And if you point it directly at your mouth like this, that'll work too. But when you turn it sideways, when it's pointed straight up in the air, and you're talking to the side of it, it attenuates it probably about 90%.
Yeah. I really need a microphone stand. I have other microphones. I have an audio mixer. Microphone into the microphone input, and I could run the TI direct audio in to the mixer, and then have just one feed going into the computer. I had hoped I could put like the microphone on the left channel and the TI on the right channel, and be able to balance the volume, but I've had fun for the past month with the VGA capture device, just trying to get it to work with the computer, work with the TI, and then of course on the Hangouts display, I see a display that's reversed, left to right. So it makes it a little difficult for me to try to perceive what the words are on the screen. But with the video capture device, it has its own software, its own monitor software. So I was able to look at that and actually see the TI screen the right way it's supposed to be, and to tell when the gadget was working. But I guess I got a couple months now to try to straighten this out. Emails. We had lost the Bob Roberts part of a meeting or two ago. We lost the Sam's Computer Fact blueprint and troubleshooting instructions on the TI. So I'm going to have to see if I can get being able to present those again. I see on the YouTube video just what I was able to present and what it was showing. It's sort of hard to do it by myself here without having another computer set up to monitor. what it's doing. So well, I'm about set to log off. I was trying for questions here. If you three guys have any questions on what I was doing or questions about, here, I can show you the equipment we're using.
Has anybody else been watching the closed caption?
Here's a VGA frame grabber that I'm using.
Some of the things that it's been producing are kind of funny. For instance, when you were in the one game with Ellendale, it said that he was going down to have sex with the wolf. I thought that was kind of cute. Several other things that were changed, I think were rather interesting. I can't recall them all, but the speech recognition has still got a little bit to go before it's perfect. But it's cute, it's funny, and it's actually pretty good. And that's how I was able to follow most of it. When I couldn't hear you, I watched the words and the closed caption, and that got me the gist of what you were saying.
Okay. James and I did do a run through on the audio and the video and everything before we actually started this transmission, and the microphone seemed to be working pretty good. For sound from the CI output, John Gibby would like this. This is a Radio Shack amplified speaker. And the yellow cable adapter cord is the audio from the CI. And this thing always has a dead 9-volt battery in it. So I have wall wart running into the side of the tower.
Hey guys, let's think about wrapping up the stream. We can debrief after this.
It's 4 o'clock, so I think
So let's say our goodbyes, and then John can cut the stream, and then we can continue to talk if we need to.
Yeah, normally we do not meet in July and August, so this may be our last show until September, unless we decide that we want to do it in July and August. We will have the picnic, hopefully in July, and we can talk about that. We don't have to talk about that on YouTube, but I think we should probably stop the YouTube broadcast at this point, if everyone's in agreement. Does that work for everybody else?
Yeah, that was about it. I was just trying to see if the viewing public had any questions or anything about it. I'll try to see if I can actually watch the video and then make a timeline of what was presented when, like I've done on some of our other previous reports. So people can look at the timeline and go, okay, well this was done at this time, this was done at that time, and we can zoom in right on a particular item. So I'll say good afternoon, everybody, and we'll hang out again later. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Until next time.
See you later.